All right. Hello. I am back from a 9-month break from EverQuest and probably even longer from recording. I am recording, coming to you from an iMac. I'm using the latest version of Crossover to run EverQuest. And it took a little bit of research to decide whether or not I was going to actually do that. But here I am, doing it. I did a little 3-minute test, a couple of test videos to see how the screen recording software would work. I'm not entirely sure how this is going to be when it uploads to YouTube. I'm not looking to be any kind of professional influencer or anything. I just throw videos up on YouTube for a hobby, just for fun. Maybe provide some information people might want for this really old game that a certain select few people still like to play for nostalgia. And I'm currently level 122 on my Necro main, and I'm just getting AAs and grinding I'm getting experience in grinding AAs and so forth. You know, trying to get I had to reset up my UI from scratch as best I could from memory. I didn't have any INI files, settings, anything like that saved separately or anything. You know, I just reset everything from scratch. I think I did reference some of my old videos, some of the setups to kind of get a general idea how I had it and kind of jog my memory a little bit. Reuse some of my old macros for the pet attack and stuff like that. How to slow creatures without having to think too much. With I use a macro to do the whole Necro ghetto slow thing right here. I just put it slow, does the AA Centithul, then has a decent break, then it does the nuke that changes the mob into an undead, and then you cast this AA again, which is off cooldown by then, and it gets resisted a decent amount of time, so it's not foolproof. And matter of fact, I think this mob resisted the slow. It doesn't really matter if it resisted or not to me, just trying to get experience here. I just like doing it because it's kind of a niche, a special thing the Necros can do that the only other classes that can really slow the attack of other mobs that, to my knowledge, actually I think maybe Shadow Knights might be able to do it to undead, but they can't convert live mobs to undead like Necros can. But obviously Shaman and Enchanters can slow mobs, so, but you know, it's an ability I've heard many mages kind of wish they had, and they kind of get a little jealous of us because of this thing here, and along with, of course, our famously OP Feign Death ability. So there's that. I mainly like to play my Necro because I mostly like to solo. I don't like to box. I was getting into boxing for a while, a little bit, with a shaman I kind of used with not only my Necro but a ranger I have. That was something I like to do, but with the ranger, but I don't know. Using my Mac here, since I've been out of the game for so long because I ditched Windows. The Windows computer I had when they put out the first Copilot patch bricked my system completely. I had an AMD processor in that machine, and something about the motherboard and the processor with the update. It was in a eternal loop, and it would hang on the update, and there was no way I could recover to get into the UEFI to try to reinstall Windows on it. It was just bricked. There's nothing I could do. And that was the last straw. It's the last time I used Windows ever. It's one thing if I break my machines because I'm being an idiot. It's another thing when Microsoft breaks my machine because they're forcing me to install a patch I didn't even want. And then the other stuff they do, they revert settings that you've set for privacy and other things, and I'm just sick of the same old song and dance that you have to do with Windows to get it to behave. Apple's not perfect, but the machines work and they last a long time. Now, if you're a power gamer that has to have absolute ultra settings on everything you play, or you're not happy, this probably isn't for you. But I'm using Crossover. There was a fee with Crossover that it's not a huge deal. It's pretty cheap when you figure you're paying for it for an entire year. I think it was like $60 or something like that for a year, maybe 70 something. It's less than $10 a month. Fine. I pay more for Netflix, so it's okay. And I just tried it, and I had to monkey with just a little bit, but it works, man. I mean, as you can see, it's working fine. There was one thing that I did notice when I logged my Ranger on, that the textures for his Epic 1.0 blades or augs that I have in my weapon for him was not showing up. So the Epic 1.0 for the Ranger wasn't showing up. I haven't checked it out. I have my 2.0, technically 2.5 on my Necro here, and I think it's in my pack. Maybe I'll switch out my weapon here and see if that shows up, but I think it's mainly to do with the super old graphics and textures that they used way back in the day, the Kunark ones and stuff. The original, and then the Kunark ones and stuff before the Looklin revamps and everything. I don't know. After this mob dies here, I'll check it out and see what's what, just out of curiosity. I really like the AUG I have in this weapon here that Waydark's brandishing. And if you're curious about what I'm doing there to get rid of the buffs the mobs are putting on themselves, like this cleric or healer mob, just real quick, I just add the eradicate magic to my snare, because this is instantaneous. There's no cast time, so it does that, and then it goes right to this. You don't have to have any kind of pause or anything. So, and this right here is a really short one too. Neither one of these create any kind of damage, so that's, it's just nice to kind of have and the refresh on the eradicate magic is really fast, so it's pretty cool. So let's check it out here. I'm almost positive. No, don't I have it? This might be it. Yep, there it is. Yeah, look at that bit of history. They nerfed it, that's why I don't use it anymore, but I think this is the 2.5 AUG thing. So this is the default one. This is from the weapon buff, and then this right here is the added one. It adds on to it, but it's all nerfed because I'm way out leveled for it. It only goes up to, I think, level 80 or 80, maybe 85. I don't know. It's not useful for very long. So it's got mega nerfed. I think the only 2.0, it's really, there's only a couple that are really worth getting anymore. I mean, I could be wrong, but you know. Anyway, so let's see what happens here. If we can see it, it looks like we can. Yep, there she is. Man, it looks cool. I need to get the AUG for this, those AUG quests that you can do. But the one for the Necro Epics is such a pain in the rump. I can't really do them. I haven't had the patience to do them. So, anyway. I just keep it on me because I worked pretty hard for it. So, especially, I got real lucky with the, and here's I got this AUG for this weapon. It's a scimitar one. Let me show you. Shadow scimitar. Shadow. It's when Shadows of Lukeland or whatever the SOL. I did the bait. I pre-ordered it just so I could get access to these Shadow AUGs that you could get. You got to pick whatever one you wanted for, you know, whatever type of weapon. Could have been a bow, could be, you know, so for this guy, and you only get to pick it one time, right? So it's not for each character. So this was my main, so I picked the Shadow AUG for him, and I thought it'd be really cool since the scimitar one would work with any one-handed weapon. So that it looks like I have I got a shield and a fancy dark scimitar that looks kind of cool on him. And I'll show you with the thing. I just think it looks very necro-y. You know, I got the dark elf look there and everything going on with that. He's got the whole. He just looks pretty classic to me. I like to stick with the theme of the character with stuff. And the main reason why I have this, I have a Drachnid healer I could use, but it's big and loud, and I got a gargoyle, so I got basically a scorpion one, a Drachnid one, and then I have a gargoyle one, but I need to get a healer for the gargoyle instead, since I'm not going to box anymore. I might box under the crossover thing. I'm getting this to play a bit. I don't feel like trying to figure that out right now. I'm just happy to be playing again. And that's I don't know, that's about it. It's pretty boring. So I give a little update. I'm going to upload this video, and I got comments turned on. You can let me know how the sound is, you know, if it's acceptable. I just don't want it to be annoying, but I'm not super picky. I'm not going to mess around and buy extra equipment or, you know, I'm not going to go through a lot of trouble to get it to sound professional. This is just a hobby that, you know, whatever. If, you know, if the sound is too soft and you can't hear me very well, when I go back and I check after I've uploaded it, I'll kind of figure that out myself. But if for some reason, you know, you can still leave a comment about, you know, if it's too soft or too loud. If that's the case, then I'll adjust the mic level, and because the software I'm using to record this is just Apple straight up software screen recorder. So the couple of test recordings, like I said, worked fine before. They were short ones, so anyway, that's about it. I'm going to finish killing this mob off, and Maybe I'll put up another one, say after I hit max level. This is Maiden's Eye. I'm just going to use this to get AAs, and then I'll hit the current zones after I've maxed out my levels and I've got my AAs squared away a bit. I got the T1 visible armor. That was pretty easy. Sort of like there was an expansion a while ago, a number of years ago, that it was kind of tradable type stuff. With the rustic armor, the system with the new expansion seems to be basically just like that. So it's very stuff you could use to twink very easily. So, which is nice for casual like me, you know, or somebody who's been away from the game for a while. It's a little easier for me to get a little caught up with at least some gear that was decent. So, all right then. So, have a good one. Rock on, and till next time.